first chapter, fundamental unit of life.
Yes, ma'am.
So this chapter, what do we have in this chapter?
Ma'am, it is about cell and the structure of cell and the various components of the cell.
So our earth, it has different kinds of organisms,
Yes, ma'am.
and these organisms are made up of
Cells.
cells. Yes, basic unit, it is cell.
Yes, ma'am.
And the cells, they share common functions,
Yes.
common characteristic or common structure. What is that? Every cells have what? Cell membrane.
Then they have cytoplasm and nucleus.
Yes. So these all are the common thing. All organisms will be having that. The only difference is the shape of the cell. Then their function, that will be different. And some of the organism will be having only a single cell. The others will be having what? Multiple cells, multicellular. Those are multicellular organism. And some organism will be having the primitive nucleus. That means they will be having naked DNA.
Yes.
And the other organism, mostly eukaryotes,
Yes.
right? They are having what?
True nucleus.
Yes, true nucleus. They have nucleus plus what? Nuclear membrane. They have also one more thing.
Then they have the nucleoplasm and the nucleolus.
And one more thing, organelle cell bound organelles, membrane bound organelles. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So these are, and there are mostly two types of cell, that is plant cell and animal cell.
Yes, ma'am.
So all these things we are going to talk about. We are going to talk about how cell was discovered, then how the different types of cell, then what is that? Organelles, each organelle's function, all these things.
Yes.
First thing is this Robert Hooke. He took a cork, okay,
Yes.
which you find in the bottle cap, okay, that is cork.
Yes.
This thing is found in the bark of a tree, okay, and it is dead.
Yes.
He took a microscope, primitive microscope, okay, he made it by himself and he took it and then he observed. What did he see? He saw this thing, honeycomb-like structure, okay. This boxes he called cell. This little compartment he called cell. In Latin it is called little room.
Yes.
Okay. Then this Leeuwenhoek, this cell it was discovered in 1665. Okay, in 1665.
Yes.
And Leeuwenhoek, Anton von Leeuwenhoek, he discovered what? Free living cell, first living cells. This Robert Hooke discovered the dead cells, and this Leeuwenhoek discovered free living cells in the pond like this. Okay.
Yes.
He used this microscope. He made his own improvement. Okay. Then first in 1831, Robert Brown discovered what? Nucleus.
Yes.
And this Sleeden and Schwann, they independently proposed this cell theory. Okay, we'll talk about that. And Virchow, he added one more point. Okay, in the cell theory. In this Pukenzhi, he gave the term what? Protoplasm, for fluid substance which is present in the cell. Okay.
Yes.
Now let's talk about cell theory. Sleeden, he is botanist.
Yes.
He said that all plants consist of cells, and this Swan is zoologist. He said all animals,
Yes.
and also plants are made up of cells. So this joint thing formed the basis of the cell theory.
Yes.
So, and one more thing, Virchow. He said all cells arise from trees, existing cell. Already existing cell, from there only the cell arises.
Yes.
So let's see the first point. All organisms are composed of cells.
Yes.
And cells are what? Structural and functional unit of life. Lastly, all cells arise from
pre-existing cells.
correct. And one more thing you can say, every organism starts its life as single cell. From single cell only we have multiple cells.
Yes, yes,
Now, next thing we have what? We'll learn about the microscope. Just a minute. Microscope, okay?
yes,
Compound microscope.
yes,
You have seen in the school, I guess.
yes, ma'am.
Have you observed onion peel?
No, ma'am, but we've observed amoeba.
Observed amoeba. This water microscope, it is high resolution instrument.
Yes,
It maximizes the size of an object. Okay, we can see it through this light microscope. We can see the details of cells.
yes,
This cells can be magnified up to this 300 to 1500 times multiplication. Okay,
yes, ma'am.
the most commonly used microscope which we find in the schools, right? It is compound microscope, or you can say light microscope.
Yes, ma'am.
What does it uses? It uses light, generally what? Generally sunlight,
Yes,
to illuminate the object. That's why it is called light microscope.
yes,
We put the specimen in the glass slide. This is glass slide, okay?
yes,
This whole thing is glass slide. This coil, this rectangle thing, okay?
yes,
We put our object here. This is the stage where the glass slide is present.
yes,
This reflector, what does it do? Light will be passed through the object or specimen with the help of what? This reflector.
yes,
And from the eyepiece, what do we see? We can see the magnified image of the specimen or the object.
yes,
This coarse adjustment, it is for the what? Focusing.
focusing. Yes,
Here it is for perfect image.
yes, ma'am.
Fine adjustment. We can get the lining, everything perfectly in fine adjustment. In coarse adjustment, we focus the object, whichever we have to view. In the fine, we have to see the inside of that object. Okay, you can see inside. We can magnify the structures. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
and we use one more thing is what scientists we have electron microscope.
Yes, ma'am.
Here, electrons are used for illumination. It was discovered by Null and Resta.
Yes,
Here, the magnification is up to what? This much.
yes, ma'am.
Now, let's compare light microscope to electron microscope.
Yes, ma'am. So light microscope uses sunlight for the illumination of the specimen, whereas electron microscope uses electrons for them.
And
Then light microscope can magnify from 300 to 1500 times, while electron microscope can magnify up to 100,000 to 500,000.
Here, glass lenses are used.
Yes, ma'am.
And here, electromagnets are used. Here, vacuum is not required. Here, vacuum is required. It is essential.
Yes,
So these all are the differences.
yes, ma'am. Yes,
Now, one activity was there. We take onion
yes, ma'am.
and we use this preserve
Yes,
and we peel it. Peel the skin. Then we put this in the glass slide. We pour the water. We drop a drop of water. Then this skin. Okay,
yes, ma'am.
skin of the onion. Then what do? We put iodine stain, and
Yes,
then we put this here, this slide. Then we see through the eyepiece. What do we find? We find this structure like this. This is what we called.
Cell.
This whole thing is cell, and this covering is cell wall.
Yes,
Okay, and this dot thing is what? Nucleus. Light colored parts are cytoplasm.
yes, ma'am.
The other structures like the organelles are not seen. We see it by electron microscope. Okay?
Yes.
Fine details, we see it by electron microscope.
Yes.
Now, on the basis of the number of cells present, the organisms are classified into two types. That is unicellular organism and multicellular organism. Unicellular organisms have single cells.
Yes.
Okay, and multicellular organisms have many cells.
Yes.
We have already discussed. So, let's see what's the difference between them. Unicellular organism, a single cell constitute the whole organism.
Yes.
One single cell are it's one organism. Okay, and here in the multicellular organism, multiple cells are grouped together in single body, and they perform different function also.
Yes.
Okay. They form various body parts. Next, here there will be no division of labor.
Yes.
Here in multicellular organism there will be division of labor. All the cells are specialized to perform different function. Okay.
Yes.
In the single cell also there will be division of labor as well as a group of cell also. Then example we have amoeba in case of unicellular, and then we have Cladomonas, Paramecium, bacteria. And here multicellular fungi, plants, animals, and humans. Okay,
Yes.
animals, including our humans. Okay, this is amoeba.
Yes.
This is Paramecium. This is what?
Chlamydomonas.
Yes, Cladomonas. And this is bacteria, different types of bacteria. Okay,
Yes.
this is done. So all cells, right? They are of different shapes and sizes.
Yes.
Some cells have fixed shape. Most plants and animal cells are having fixed shape, and some cells like the WBC and amoeba, their shape will keep changing. Okay.
Yes.
Now, some cells, fixed shape cell are what? Fat cell. They are elliptical, then spherical ovum, then spindle shape, smooth muscles. Then sperm are what? Knobbed thread-like structure. And discoidal, it is RBC. Then elongated, it is nerve cell. So every cells are having fixed shape. Some like the WBC and amoeba are having different changing shapes. Okay.
Yes.
So you can see this is elliptical cells. Okay. These are skin cells.
Yes.
And here we have human blood cells. This is RBC. And this is all, these are WBCs, leukocytes. And we have cartilage cell. This is connective tissue cell. Then striated muscle cell. These cells are help in the voluntary action.
Yes.
This smooth muscle cell, we have the spindle shape, eye type shape. Okay. Here this helps in the involuntary movement.
Yes.
Like the heartbeat.
Yes.
Then, this is the bone cell, and this we have nerve cell. It is the largest cell of our body. This is the single cell, Cladomonas, and this is the plant cell, and here we have amoeba, changing shape, and this is the guard cell,
Yes.
kidney type cells. Okay. So the smallest cell is mycoplasma. It is like 0.1 to 0.5 μm.
Yes.
Then ostrich, it is the largest cell. Egg cell of the ostrich, it is 18 centimeter.
Yes.
Okay, and the longest cell is what? Nerve cell. So this is. Let's talk about function of cell.
Yes.
So every living cell will perform basic function.
Yes.
The shape and the size of the cell are related to the specific function they perform. Multicellular organisms like human being perform this function by division of labor. What is division of labor?
Like certain cells are supposed to do like digestion, and the certain cells are supposed to do respiration.
So, for example, we ourselves, our human body, we have heart to pump blood, right? Then stomach to digest food. Then skeletal muscle to perform the movement and the locomotion. So, and this I have told heart, right? Heart will be having what? Special muscle, that is cardiac muscle, which will contract, which helps in the beating of the heart.
Yes.
Then in the stomach, we will have mucus, which will be secreted by special cell, which is called mucus cell, right? It helps in the lubricating of the food.
Yes.
It makes the food slippery. So the movement of the food will be easier.
Yes.
And we also have what? Chief cell to secrete proenzyme.
Yes.
That is what? HCl, proenzyme HCl.
Yes.
It activates the pepsin,
Yes.
which helps in the digestion of protein.
Yes.
So this enzyme, this chief cell and this parietal cell, right? These all cells are of different shape and different types. And okay, they do their work. Their
Yes.
function is different. Then the skeletal muscle will be having striated muscles, which
Yes.
helps in the contraction, depending on our cell. So that's why it is used for the movement, to perform movement and locomotion. Okay, so this, we can say this is what we call division of labor.
Yes.
Okay, each cell has got what? Certain specific function. Okay?
Yes.
Which it performs. Okay. And also in the cell also there is division of labor. Inside the cell itself there is division of labor. And
Yes.
inside the cell, division of labor is done by the cell organelle. Each cell organelle will perform different functions.
Yes.
Ribosome will help in the protein synthesis, and chloroplast will be used for synthesis of food. And the waste product, right, will be cleared by lysosomes.
Yes.
Okay. So different cell organelles are performing different function.
Yes.
Now tell me the difference between organ and organelle. Organs and organelles.
Organs are like basically made up of tissues which are made up of various mature cells, where organelles are the various components of a cell which do a specific function.
Simple. Yes, correctly. These organs, where are they found?
They are found like in various parts of the body, while these organelles are found inside one cell.
Yes, in multicellular organism.
Yes.
And it is found in all the eukaryotic cells.
Yes.
They are large sized. Okay, that is macroscopic. And here, very small size.
Yes.
Here, the organs may be, they may be what? External or internal to the body of the organism. And here in the organelles, they are mostly internal.
Yes.
Now you told the first point, right? What did you tell that time?
And I was telling that organs are made up of tissues which are inside the cell.
Organs made up of tissues made up of cells. And cells are formed by
Various
organelles. And this organelles, what are they made up of? They are made up of micromolecules and macromolecules.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, this organ will coordinate to form what?
Organ system.
Correct, perfect. And then
the whole of the human body.
Here?
The organelles together make the cell.
Okay. All these are the difference between organs and organelles.
Yes, ma'am.
First, we'll talk about
Yes, ma'am.
cell membrane or plasma membrane.
Yes.
This plasma membrane are what? Outermost lining of the cell.
Yes.
Living, thin and delicate covering of the cell. It separates the content of the cell from its external environment.
Yes.
So one cell content from the other cell and from other environment also. Okay.
Yes.
And what does it contain? It has lipids, yes? That is phospholipids and protein. This thing provide the flexibility to the plasma membrane. It helps the cell to engulf food and other material from external environment. This process is called endocytosis. We'll talk about that more. Okay. And this amoeba will acquire this food material through endocytosis. Okay.
Yes.
With the help of pseudopodia. Function of the plasma membrane. it allows the entry and exit of selective materials. So plasma membrane will act as what? Semi-permeable, selectively permeable, and partially permeable and differentially permeable membrane. Right? See, impermeable membrane, it will not allow any passage of solvent and solute molecules. Solvent and solute, what are they?
The constituents of the solution.
Okay, what is solvent?
Solvent is the liquid part of the solution which constitutes more, and solute is the solid part of the solution.
So this impermeable membrane, it does not allow any solvent or solute to pass. Okay. And this permeable membrane, it will allow all the solvent and solute to pass. And in semi-permeable membrane, what will happen? Only the solvent movement is allowed. But a few selected solute molecules will also be allowed. Okay.
Yes.
And here in the differentially permeable membrane, it allows the useful substance to diffuse in, and harmful substance to diffuse out.
Yes, sir. And then which category will selectively permeable membrane cover?
Selectively permeable membrane will allow movement of the solvent particle and selected solute molecules. Okay?
Yes.
It selects.
And the selectively permeable membrane is like semi-permeable.
Yeah, it's like semi-permeable.
Okay.
See, plasma membrane. See, it is made up of head and two tails. Okay?
Yes.
Phosphate, and these two tails are lipids. Okay?
Yes.
Tail are hydrophobic. That means they dislike water. Okay, that's why the inner part will be having tail. Okay, double layer is there. Okay, phospholipid. This is the lipid part. This tail is the lipid part, and this is the phosphate part. That is why we call phospholipid. And bilayer means two layers are there. Okay, two layers are there.
Yes.
Here also and here also. And this head is hydrophilic. It loves water.
Yes, ma'am.
Here we also have glycoprotein, then goblet protein, then protein channel, some specific solute to come, some material, ion to come, and integral protein, peripheral, that means side, at the side, this protein is present. This surface protein, then alpha helix protein, different kinds of protein are present. And here we also have carbohydrate.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. This is the structure of plasma membrane.
Yes.
Let's talk about. I wrote your name correctly, right?
Yes, ma'am. Sharon.
Sharon. The main function of the plasma membrane is transport.
Yes.
And it performs this by diffusion and osmosis.
Yes.
There are two kinds of movement, transport. First, we have
Active and passive.
yes, correct. Active and passive.
Yes. Active transport is the movement of the solvent molecules against the concentration gradient using energy. And
Yes, correct. Against.
Yes.
That means against the gradient means what?
I mean, the water moves from a lower concentration to a higher concentration.
So that means from high concentration to low concentration. And in passive transport, we have.
Along the concentration.
Wait. What I have written?
From high
Oh my God. From low concentration.
It's high concentration of the solute particles to a low concentration of the solute particles.
We are talking about water.
Yes, ma'am. So if it's water, then it would be the low concentration to
High concentration. Okay.
Yes.
And in the passive, it is high concentration.
Too low.
Yes. Too low concentration. In the passive, we have what? Diffusion.
And osmosis is a special kind of diffusion.
Yes, osmosis, special kind of diffusion. Osmosis is movement of solvent from high concentration to low concentration through
semi-permeable membrane.
Through semi-permeable membrane. So, okay, this is a cell.
Yes.
This is an amoeba cell.
Yes.
If there is more water, more O2, O2 in water, oxygen in water, and less oxygen in cell, what will happen? Oxygen will come inside this cell.
Yes, ma'am.
And here respiration will happen, right? So the O2 will be used up. So more carbon dioxide will be present.
Yes, ma'am.
Then what will happen? The carbon dioxide will diffuse out of the cell because there is less carbon dioxide present outside the cell.
Yes. Yes.
Here, this is how the diffusion happens.
Yes.
Okay, then tomorrow we'll talk about osmosis.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, any doubt here?
No, ma'am.
Okay, then take care.
Okay, ma'am.
Bye bye. See you in the next. Yeah, thank you. See you in the next class. Take care.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.